Bro, I went back in our DMs, me and Marlow's DMs yesterday. He sent me videos or voice messages of him meowing.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but DrDonut was right all along. You see, the clip I just showed you was from a DrDonut stream a few days ago, and it confirmed everything about Marlow. Now when I tell you this stream was absolutely insane, I mean he basically predicted Marlow's downfall 2 years ago and it was raw. But before I break down everything that happened and show you guys exactly how DrDonut was manipulated and how he accidentally predicted the Marlow situation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a like on this video, because this situation is genuinely one of the craziest things I've ever covered. Also, make sure to join my Discord linked in the description. So let me give you guys some context about who DrDonut is and why his reaction matters so much. Because DrDonut is one of the biggest people in the competitive Minecraft PvP community. Like, he's a content creator and streamer who by his own account was probably the single most important person in making Marlow famous. And his reaction to the confirmation carries more weight than almost anyone else in the community, because he had a years-long personal relationship with the Marlow persona. And the first thing you need to understand is how DrDonut reacted when someone told him the confirmation was real. Like, there was no hesitation, no doubt, no asking for more evidence. His exact words were, "All I'm gonna say is all of it's real, all of it, like 100%. And dude, this instant complete belief from someone who had known the Marlow persona for 5 years is in itself really significant, because a person who had been genuinely close to Marlow, who had called with her, streamed with her, promoted her publicly, and got personal DMs meowing from her, does not respond with this level of certainty unless everything they are seeing matches up with the things they already knew was expected. And he immediately says, "I've been talking to a fake person for 5 years. And dude, just think about that for a second. Like 5 years of direct contact, voice calls, direct messages, streams together, and the entire time he was talking to DangerMario, not Marlow. And honestly, that's so messed up when you think about it. But here's where it gets even crazier, because DrDonut makes a claim that's both really self-aware and probably true. Like, he believes Marlow wouldn't have become as famous without his help, and he's careful to say this might sound like ego, but his reasoning actually makes sense. From around 2022 to early 2024, DrDonut was one of the biggest voices in the competitive Minecraft PvP community. And during that entire time, he was constantly and publicly promoting Marlow as the #1 player, like talking about her on stream, sending his audience toward her content, actively building her reputation as the best in the world. And he did this because she seemed talented and nice, like that's it. He had a habit of promoting people he thought deserved success, and Marlow was one of them. Yeah, DrDonut, I'm sure it wasn't because you crushed on her. And the attention he gave her probably made her rise to fame way faster. Like, players who had never heard of Marlow learned about her through DrDonut streams, and the #1 ranking became culturally significant, partly because the community's most vocal supporter kept telling everyone she was the best. And his reaction to realizing this is honestly one of genuine frustration. Like, he says, "I was manipulated into doing that, into helping out somebody whose overall goal was just to make money and become powerful." And dude, you can hear the betrayal in his voice when he says that, because he genuinely thought he was helping someone who deserved it. But it wasn't just passive manipulation. Like, DangerMario actively targeted DrDonut to control him, and DrDonut lays out exactly how it happened. And honestly, when you hear the specific ways he was manipulated, it's actually insane. First, there was the streaming advice, and in direct messages, Marlow told DrDonut to stop streaming, and this was framed as friendly career advice, like suggesting he should learn to code instead. Like, bro, why are we copying Dream now? And DrDonut now understands what that actually was, which is an attempt to remove one of the community's most visible voices, because a streaming DrDonut was a potential problem if he ever decided to push the cheating accusations publicly. And then second, there was the Sharpness situation, and DrDonut reveals that his entire beef with a creator named Sharpness was set up by Marlow. Like, she had apparently gone to Sharpness and convinced him that DrDonut was a bad person, and this worked. Sharpness said something about DrDonut based on that, and DrDonut heard about it and started disliking Sharpness. And honestly, both of them have been played against each other by DangerMario to create drama that helped no one except the Marlow persona. But the third thing is probably the most damaging, and it's Marlow's response. Like, Marlow made a video about DrDonut where she placed him in a group of people she described as doxers and sorters, who were out together, framing his cheating accusations as part of a coordinated harassment thing rather than a legitimate observation about her gameplay, and this video generated massive community backlash against DrDonut. Like, the accusation that he was part of a group of bad people specifically targeted him in a way that was really difficult to recover from publicly, and was designed to destroy his credibility before he could become a serious threat. And the result was that DrDonut got enormous amounts of hate from Marlow's community for his cheating accusations, and the video basically silenced him publicly for a significant period. And dude, DrDonut also mentions that Marlow had worked to separate him from a player called King Default, and that this effort succeeded. And he says Default was someone who had been warning him since around 2023 that Marlow was DangerMario. Like, Default apparently knew or strongly believed this was the case well before the public exposure, but Marlow had Default blacklisted and banned from the community for over a year, specifically to remove his voice and prevent him from convincing others, including DrDonut. But dude, one of the most emotionally charged parts of the stream comes when the clip surfaces in chat. Like a 2-year-old stream where DrDonut had already said almost word for word exactly what turned out to be true. In that old stream, DrDonut had said Marlow was a cheater, Marlow was DangerMario, DangerMario still owned MC PvP, and the cheating involved unnatural anchor speeds, and he had been right about all of it. And for saying so, he had been publicly targeted, placed in a group of doxers and sorters, had his reputation damaged, had his friendships manipulated, and had been told to quit streaming, all by the person he was correct about. But now let me tell you about the voice calls, because this is one of the most personally interesting details in the whole thing. Like, DrDonut reveals that he had called with Marlow in 2021, like a direct real-time voice call, not a voice message, and did not recognize it was a male voice. And he processes this live from stream, saying, "I called DangerMario. How did I not know it was a man making a girl's voice? He must have been really good at it." Well, DrDonut, I think you might have been blinded by your love for Marlow. And then he provides important context about the timeline, like around late 2021 and early 2022. Marlow was actively calling people and direct voice calls were common, but from early 2022 onward, she basically stopped, and the only voice content available after that point was carefully recorded voice message, which DrDonut thinks probably took multiple tries to record before being sent. And he also says whether those early calls used a voice changer, and his answer was significant. No, it wasn't a voice changer, suggesting that in 2021, DangerMario was using his naturally higher pitched voice to be a girl. I can't even lie, this man has some mad talent, bro. But dude, DrDonut also brings new evidence to light by stating that when he took ownership of US PvP, which had been the main Crystal PvP practice server, he discovered that Marlow had console access to on the server, granted by the previous owner. And the moment DrDonut removed that console access, Marlow immediately stopped playing on US PvP entirely, and never returned. She created her own practice server environment through the MC tier's private pack instead. And then DrDonut says this pattern was universal. He says, for as long as I've known Marlow, she has only played on servers she has console access to. And this is serious, because console access to a Minecraft server means control over files, plugins, and potentially the anti-cheat system itself. So a player with console access on a server can potentially disable or change anti-cheat detection for their own account, making sure that cheat software that would be caught on a properly run server passes completely undetected. Like, every server where Marlow appeared to perform at an elite level was a server where she had direct backend access, and every server where she had no such access, she simply refused to play. And across the stream, DrDonut repeatedly returns to the same person as the real victim of the entire situation, which is It's Real Me. The player DrDonut identifies as the actual #1 PvP player in the world, the person who held the top position legitimately before Marlow's rise. And DrDonut says Marlow had apparently manipulated or convinced It's Real Me to quit competing, and the result was that the legitimate #1 player stepped away from the game, creating a vacancy that the Marlow persona then filled with a fake ranking. And DrDonut says It's Real Me was the #1 PvP for years, #1, way ahead of everybody else, and he quit because of Marlow. And Dr. Donut uses the word Popified repeatedly throughout the stream, like it's his term for being manipulated and controlled by Marlow without knowing it, and he applies it to himself, to It's Your Meat, to Sharpness, to King Default, saying everybody in the Crystal community was Popified. All the top PvPers were Popified under her control, and he describes DangerMario as a genius, like a horrible person but a genius, specifically because of how thoroughly and how long he kept control of her community with hundreds of thousands of members, dozens of big content creators, and multiple high-tier competitive players without any of them being able to prove what they had suspected. And he also raises his own accountability by saying, "I was the most influential pophead. I helped Marlow more than anyone else accidentally." And he doesn't deflect this or make it smaller. He acknowledges that his platform and his genuine desire to promote people he liked were used against him and against the community, and that the scale of what DangerMario achieved was partly because of Dr. Donut. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, do you think Dr. Donut actually had a crush on DangerMario? I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me. And if you made this far into the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe because we're trying to grow the channel. But yeah, that's basically the full breakdown of Dr. Donut's stream and why he was right about Marlow all along. Like, he called it 2 years ago and got publicly destroyed for it, and now people are finally catching on. Anyways, goodbye!